According to Stifel's Barry Bannister, investors shouldn't get too excited about a relief rally in the stock market. Instead, Bannister believes it will be a selling opportunity, not a buying opportunity. The research firm said it expects the S&P 500 to rally about 9% from current levels to the range of 4,400 to 4,600. The seasonal rally is likely to unfold by the end of April. However, it will be followed by a prolonged sell-off to a level not seen since April of 2021. So, let's take a look. Using Stifel's implied price corridor model, following a seasonal rally by the end of April, from May to October, Bannister expects the S&P 500 to trend lower towards 4,000, and this would represent a potential downside of about 5% from the current levels. The fundamental risks that could drive a sell-off include persistent inflation that ultimately leads to a period of stagflation. This, along with the sanctions against Russia, will likely raise costs for consumers and businesses, according to Bannister. Bannister further states that every measure we have shows a 0% return for the next decade. Let's go to our charts. To reiterate, Stifel is looking for a relief rally here through April. Though following April from May through October, Stifel is looking for some selling opportunities, which means they expect the market to go down. Now, for the next decade, Stifel is expecting 0% returns. Now, I don't know about the next decade, but I do have my ideas about a rally. And then, as I've said before, I do expect problems after that rally. Now, today we're only going to talk about, hopefully, this rally. Problems that may occur later, we'll talk about in another video. But for now, we're looking for this W formation to complete. We've come down, we had the rally back on up, it got reflected back down here, and here's where we are right now. We're struggling more or less this 420 line and the SPY. We've hit it once. We went through 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 times, but I think the rally is starting to gain some steam, and hopefully it will carry this up and through the 20 EMA, hopefully up and through the 50 EMA. I'm looking for a rally that's going to come on up here, perhaps equal to this top at that level here. That's when the problems, I think, will arise, but we'll wait to talk about that for another time. Moving on down here into the volume. Volume is trying its best to calm down, not doing a great job, but you can see perhaps a bit of a tapering in the volume. Into the MAC, which is my favorite oscillator, the maximum negativity was, say, right at this point here. Now we had a downdraft here, and then the current downdraft we're working on right now. But for the most part, you do see some improvement on the way up. You can also see that this was deep compared to the slow line. The fast line came down much further. Here, not so much, and then here, even less. So things are strengthening. Moving down into the histogram, you can see pretty much the same thing, the improvement moving on through there. We're near that zero line, and it wants to head up and through. Down here into the price rate of change, you can see that the fast line, the black line, has already recovered, headed on up, and is almost at that zero line. So definitely improvement here with this move on up. Down into the RSI, we're still at a moderate 48.18, but as you can see, that too is showing some improvement here, and it looks like it's moving on up to that 50-year midline. We may have another sawtooth down here before we head on up, but I think we're getting very close. Here in the stochastics, you can see the rounding here of this bottom and basing. It looks like it wants to head on up. We're not too far from that 50 or midline, so I think we're going to get some improvement there relatively soon. And the Williams is moving out of that oversold territory on up. It wants to hit that 50 or midline. In fact, it wants to head up higher, and I think it will. It's only going to take through this week, perhaps into next week. At least that's what I believe the probabilities are. Moving on up here, again to the price chart, one last look. Here, expect this bottom and basing to occur. I think things are strengthening, and I think we're going to head up later this week, certainly into next week. As for this top up here, we'll worry about that another time. And for today, that's ChewDog Charts. Thank you.